Okay, gang. As you know, we have tons of volume running on ads, tons of volume running on affiliate, and of course, we get tons of organic engagement. So I have a general assistant that's taking our lead magnet. I'll walk you through the ad that we're running, the lead magnet that we have going on where we're driving the traffic, the AI assistant itself, all the configurations I have, and then the workflows attached to make this thing do what it does, which is just some for like the initial client acquisition. The rest is all AI handled. So I'll switch over to my screen here. Okay. So start an ads manager. So I have these two ads running, right? So just video ads.
High
We'll
level
take
is
these. No big deal, right? So where are these driving traffic? These are driving traffic to the actual just landing page of Assistable. Nothing crazy. I didn't even build out like a specific landing page for this, right? So it's just driving traffic here. All right. So, and again, we have the video playing here where we're ultimately trying to drive them is to this interactive demo, which they click here. All right. This goes to a GoHighLevel landing page. I'll send this out if you want it. It's just a simple landing page that goes to a form. They fill out the form here. We make sure that they're not a bot so that we can throw our bot on them. And then we get some consent for outreach there. All right. So super simple. Ads there. Go to the main page, which goes to here. And just about every client acquisition channel that we have running, whether it's YouTube, whether it's organic stuff that we have running around, it all points to this one page, which is our landing page. All right. With the ultimate goal of either having them sign up just from what they've seen, from what they've heard, from what they know, or having them talk to us directly through here. And you notice all paths lead to where we want you to go. Remember, the biggest thing about landing pages, at least in my experience, is that if you have too much going on, you have too many words, you have too many links going places, humans are, at this point, we're just programmed to have a short attention span. So if you take them all over the place, which is not your call to action, or somewhere that you want them to go that leads to your call to action, they will ultimately get lost, forget, and then go back to whatever they were doing, aka watching YouTube or scrolling through Facebook. So, everything here leads to that landing page. Contact sales leads to this landing page. Any other button that they can click here, try it here. Anything within here that doesn't directly, lead to like, hey, I want to get started, is gonna go to that page. That page has a form on it. So let's go into here into my workflows to our lead journey here. All right, so I just have two of these running here. I have an appointment confirmation, and I'll tell you what I'm going to build out. Of course, I'll make videos to update along the way. If I change anything or add anything to it, I'll tell you what I'll add after this. So, obviously, when somebody submits a lead form, they're going to go to our main site, which they'll probably do the website form, and if they haven't, we'll capture them on the Facebook lead form. So have two catch-alls here. So I'll start with this one because I have a safety for the second one because of this one. So if they're coming from Facebook, I always tag for attribution. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of tags. It helps with CRM filtering, finding contacts, running campaigns, attribution reporting, assistant active tags, customer information. Tags are just any CRM, tags are just the best. They're the absolute best, in my opinion. But I have the lead form coming through here, and all ads, I have two versions here. They both go to the same form, which is this one. All right. So I have some attribution reporting here, which is just tagging them saying like, this is a Facebook lead form. This is a Facebook lead form contact. This is where they came from. And then I have this just synthetic 5-minute wait. It's no reason besides what I'm going to get into here, which everyone knows how much of a vendetta I have against the self-selling AI demo, because everyone in the world has that. You will not stand out in any use case to that. It's the same pizza, different flavor. It's like going from Marco's to Papa John's. There's really no difference besides the bread, right? I think the same thing as self-selling demos. So I try to be a little different, give somebody an AI experience that they will remember. And so I add a 5-minute wait here, and I start off the convo by saying, oops, I actually forgot to connect the workflow. Give me 1 second. Let me see what I can put you in. Again, it's just like, that's different. Like, who says that? Who admits that? Kind of throws them off guard, right? And then I have a just 0.3 minute wait there, just to kind of offset this. And it's like, oh, JK, I'm an AI. I actually don't forget anything. Just saying, like, hey, this was totally on purpose. 0.2 minute wait, and then I add my active tag in. And you may ask, like, why didn't I add it up here? Well, I want to set the precedence of this conversation, right? Like, I don't want my AI replying before I want it to do what I want it to do, right? Traditionally, I would just add it in. But on this one, I wanted to have these things still kind of give that appearance of like I quote unquote did forget to do the workflow, whatever, right? So I have my active tag here at the very end in case they do like say, oh, no problem, just let me know, do whatever, right? So I have my active tag here at the end after the wait, and then I have a context instruction injection here. And so basically, I just give the AI the context like, hey, the user is coming from a Facebook lead form that your company is running. This is a paid warm interaction just to kind of set the tone here. Give it that bit of context, right? Context is king with AI, so I just fed that in there just so it knows. And it can, these just like all tool calls, all messages are remembered forever. So the AI will be able to remember this throughout the life that this lead or this customer has in the customer journey. And then I just give it an offset task here because we didn't collect their website like we would on the lead form from the actual landing page that we have. We need to ask them for their website. So the first task I have in the assistance task is actually to scrape their website and get all the summaries, learn about it, and then comment on it, right? If we don't have the website, it's hard to do, which the AI is pretty smart to know that I need the website to scrape it, right? But I still just kind of inject this task. It's also just a framework for those who want to use this for follow-up, whatever. Just here's how I'm injecting it. It's working perfect. Okay. So there is that. We have a second workflow though, because someone may come to the website and then submit that lead form in the website, right? So I have a safety in place saying if they're from Facebook, which means their submission includes the attribution reporting of a Facebook lead form, just take them out because the other one is already running with the 5-minute wait, right? But if it doesn't have that attribution tag, aka their organic traffic, or they're coming from wherever they came from, we're going to send them down this path, which is to do the actual campaign itself. So 5-minute wait here. And by the way, if someone does both, that injection that happens in the beginning, even though I said collect the website, whatever, if they do this second and they had the website, the AI has been smart enough to realize that they have a website and just proactively scrape it without having to ask for it. So it's like the same cadence, just different attribution reporting, website lead form, all the way down. Context injection is the only thing different besides the tag saying scrape the user's website to learn more about them. That's it. Okay, and then I have this drafted here because I'm filming a few videos and I don't want this to, and it will just get in the way, so I'm not worried about it. But I have an appointment confirmation, and so we don't take sales calls. Our time is wanting to be spent in the community for the users in success type calls, these calls that we do in the morning, Wednesday, Fridays. And so when it comes to sales, there's plenty enough to see. If they want a demo, all of it's on YouTube. It would save everybody time. It's just so much easier. We'll even have a dedicated demo in the future, but there's nothing to sell about. You can see it. You can ask people about it. Makes it super easy. In fact, I'll show you the email that we send out. So when there's an appointment booked, which is going to be from the AI because we don't do that either, it sends out a confirmation email from me, and it said, your journey to true AI, however. And what it says, hey, contact first name, your appointment's been confirmed, for this time zone. However, the entire company is ran by AI. There's only one human and 19,000 of you, so we don't take sales calls. We reserve our time to give the ultimate service to our community. So here are some resources for you. Our school group. We are obsessed with community, and we understand AI is super complex, and that's okay. We have a social responsibility to help others learn and build better to grow our community, business together, yada, 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 and links to our school group. And then this one's videos, how-tos, and content. We are super keen on scalability, AI company, so kind of in character. We upload tons of content, how-tos, and community videos to make sure you have every arrow in your quiver to compete in the space. And I said, hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to have the AI cancel the appointment now. Looking forward to seeing you in the community. So this drives them into our environment rather than trying to sell them up front or get them on a call. Again, just kind of waste of time. But this puts them in the community where if they have those questions they wanted to ask on a demo call, could be answered by the community, could be answered by YouTube, and just starts to put them in our environment, which is part of, our funnel. Is you come to the school group, you get very acclimated with the amazing people in there, you start to learn more about the tools, you see the cool stuff people's building out, which also leads to, if you haven't signed up already, like, I got to be a part of this, then you go sign up, and it kind of just grows from there. So we know as long as someone is in our environment, they will convert. And then I just do another context injection here. Could I cancel the appointment and everything? Sure. But just kind of playing to the role of like the context injection, right? Is I just give it a task, which is to cancel the appointment, let them know we have a no sales call policy, and this time is reserved for our community. Let them know you sent them an email with tons of resources to learn and see the platform. And that's pretty much it. In the future, I'll go over what I'm going to add. In the future, we'll have a couple workflows. One is going to be an immediate follow-up type scheduled workflow, which after the end of either one of these, there will be a 15-minute wait in which they'll be enrolled in a follow-up workflow. Huge on scalability. It's the way that the code works. It's the way that a lot of this stuff, when it comes to scalability of using workflows, it allows you to repeat things without having to build a million things, which, like I always say, keep it super simple. If you can build something and then use it multiple times, that's going to be so much easier than having to build a million different follow-up campaigns for a million different things. So I'm just going to build the one. And so this one is going to kind of start off with just a follow-up sequence of just like educating, putting some stuff as far as the community, some wins, some, case studies, some things about our company, how the numbers we've been able to hit with one person, and all AI is just a testament, and just some education and just some social proof, things like that, right? And just some like pokes here, there. So that's going to be one, because we can use that for other ones that, if someone comes from a different campaign or whatever, then we can just throw them in that workflow, or somebody organically reaches out and, the conversation stales. Again, it just fits right into where we're at. However, at the end of each of these, whichever one they go through, we will have some pokes, which is probably I like to do the 5-minute poke, which is 5 minutes. And I like to put contact dot first underscore their first name and with a question mark. So, you reach out, you say some stuff, they don't get back, and it's like, Jordan? And after 15 minutes, I like to do a question mark, again, just really vague, and, prompts a response. I see a lot of people, they do these crazy follow-ups like, well, you do the 15% discount. And it's like, in at least and again, this is all my opinion. In my perception, if somebody sends that out, it's like, oh, they're starving for sales. Just like an inherent, like, psychological thing. But if someone's very casual with me, if they're, if they're just like question mark, then I'm like, okay, these people are they're obviously like busy. They're not starving for sales, which means they're doing something right. They're doing something good. That may be a terrible explanation of the way I think about it, but that's just the way I do sales. It's the way I've always done sales. It's the way I will continue to do sales. So I have probably 3 to 5 pokes in there that'll range from 5, 15, an hour, 2 hours, and then after those 2 hours, I'm gonna set just a 24-hour wait. If they don't get back in the 24 hours, then I will throw them in that like scalable follow-up workflow. Besides that one, I'll have a DBR workflow, which will be if someone goes into the follow-up campaign, right, which will just be the education and pokes here, there, it will be a DBR after some time, probably 15 to 30 days. That DBR will be a scalable thing because we can run that on leads we already have, so we can just drop them in there, but also it'll be automated from our follow-up. If they haven't gotten back on the follow-up, then they'll just be automatically enrolled in our DBR. So we've hit just about every sales metric there. We've hit the initial outreach, the initial follow-up, and then DBR 15 to 30 days later in a scalable way that we can repeat all these workflows in the exact same way. and the DBR will, use voice and, call them, do different things like that, just to kind of, prompt them for a response. And the verbiage around that will be like, hey, you still shopping around for AI? Did you find something? Do you want me to send you a prompt guide? Something to the effect of that, just to get them to reply. And then I'll let the AI do the rest. So that's 4 workflows minus the appointment confirmation. And those 4 workflows are super, super scalable because those last 2 I can use in themselves, right? For just about anything that we do. So that's how I think about workflows. That's how I think about the rest of this stuff. So 15 minutes in, I'll stop yapping. And as you can see, we've had about 6 Facebook. We started the ads this morning. 6 come in, good conversations, and we opened this lead magnet thing up. We opened up the website the other day, and 29 thus far. So I've gotten some reps in testing this, and thus far these have been pretty good. And we will do a email out and a campaign, which will go to the people who are on the wait list who haven't signed up already. It's funny, I don't think people know we're kind of off the wait list. I haven't formally said anything about it, but it'll be a nice campaign to go out and say, hey, we're off the wait list. We know you signed up. Yada, 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 right? We'll have some verbiage around that. And again, super scalable, because if they don't get back, we throw them in the follow-up. After some time, if they don't get back on the follow-up, we throw them in the DBR. See how scalable that is? So let's get into the assistant. So this is the assistant. All right. I have some knowledge-based stuff in here. This is just general training over pricing, website scrape, some video stuff, and then pricing again. So just going over voice, going over chat, everything like that. Anything that has come up usually in the sales process that someone would want to ask is in here somehow, some way. So let's go into, this is a lead magnet. It's all done by this one here. Okay. So I have a few things done to this one as far as tools, as far as some find and replace, some verbiage, things like that. Again, I fully recommending at this point, because of the new assistant generator, that all of your assistants should follow this cadence. I'll explain why, but your prompt should literally not be more than this. And I'll show you an example conversation, right? You should have an identity, which gives the assistant a persona. You should have style guardrails, you should have a response guideline, and you should have your task-based framework. If I had $1 for every time I said task-based framework, all right? And this response guideline and this style guardrail is bulletproof. These are put in every generation now. So if you don't have one, just generate a new one. Grab this, put it in all your other ones. It's bulletproof for voice and chat. It actually does not change in the generation 2. It's trained to put that in every single one, because this mitigates with issues of asking multiple questions. This mitigates with issues on voice. This one is the bulletproof one. Just put that in yours, you'll be good to go. And you really just need these 4 things. Because you'll ask, what about verbiage training? What about company-specific knowledge? What about this? That can be done with the tools. That's the fun thing about V2, is being able to scale an AI, right? While keeping the prompt very simple, which the smaller the prompt, the more focused the AI, the more it follows your instruction. We can use the tools to do all the rest of the stuff, right, in the knowledge base. So when it comes to specific knowledge, FAQs, objection handling, anything like that, throw it in the knowledge base. Put it in the text, just a text input, throw it in the knowledge base. You can do as many of those as you want. Don't limit it. Pay a lot of money so you don't have to limit it. But throw all that in the knowledge base, because that is all fed to the AI as context on a per response basis. And so if you have all of that pre-programmed in your knowledge base, all of that context is in there. That works for pricing. That works for company. That works for FAQs, objection handling. That works for anything that you may add in your prompt traditionally on other platforms and other things that you do. It just works. And we do it on a per run basis. It's not a retrieval model like most of the ones out there. This is done on every response. We feed this context. All right. And what about verbiage and things like that? So you notice in the identity here, I do go over a little bit of verbiage. I say, you use casual professional language. You respond concisely as to not waste the user's time. And I hint to it, some stuff like that. The style guardrail is the response guideline, also covers that. And you'll see how casual and how short my output is, because I get that sometimes. It also comes down to your task-based framework here too. If you go in there and you add a lot of stuff, again, your AI is going to follow your instructions very well. And the hardest part about building AI, any platform in the world, is learning how to talk to AI but just talk to it concisely. Tell it exactly what you want it to do, and it'll do exactly what you want it to do. And if you find that it does not, can you make your language more concise, shorten your instruction instead of having something crazy. Just say ask the user if they're using AI. I promise you the output will just be like them asking if they use AI. It's super good. And if you still don't see it following your instructions perfectly, bring down your temp just a little bit. Temperature controls the randomness of outputs, which usually comes to like it not following instructions perfectly. Just lower that down 0.1, 0.2. You'll have a very deterministic AI following your instructions exactly. Okay, so before I get into my task-based prompt here, I'll go over what I have in here. Okay, so let's start with knowledge. I just have my knowledge base I told you I connected in there. Again, just FAQs, pricing, objection handling, context about the company. All that stuff can be put in there. Fed to on a per run basis. Works perfectly. I just have a calendar set up here, just one that I use, and just like the testing calendar has apparently become the sales calendar too, but we cancel it, so it just shows the booking. And then here are the tools I have here. So I have pretty much all of the pre-built tools installed, minus call the user because I have a custom one built out for that. So just about everything this assistant can do from pre-built tools, it will. I also have add tags, which this on here, so add tag GHL, you can see the configurations here. And I just say, and this goes for like any description on adding tools or extractions. Again, this comes to the conciseness of instruction, right? AI is not super smart. So the more you're just like, do this thing, or this is what you do here, the better, right? This also allows you to scale your prompt. You don't have to call this out, right? This almost acts as a mini side quest or a mini side prompt. So just keep that in mind as you do these things. So like for this one, I have, use this tool if the user is using GoHighLevel or GHL, because I reference it to both, add this tag, which is tag GHL. All right, that's on the assistant. And then I have remove tag lead magnet V2 funnel. That's my active tag. I say use this tool to remove the tag when the conversation has concluded. So after the conversation is over, after it's kind of ran through its task-based framework, it will remove the active tag so there's no back and forth, infinitely, right? Once the conversation is ended, just remove yourself from the convo. We'll do the rest, right? We'll have other ones to pick it up like support and success. I have a transfer just to me for voice if it's called, or when we start to run the voice part of it as well. Just say transfer to this number for a human if someone asks. And then for extractions, I have whether or not they're using GoHighLevel, if they're currently using AI in their business, the number of sub accounts they have, the reason that they're looking for any AI solution now, and the AI service that they're currently using if they are. And you'll see how this fits in the task-based framework, but these are just pieces of information that'll help with pricing or whatever later. So just traditional qualifying questions, and I'm just filling those to custom fields. Those custom fields, if we go to like a test contact here, those test contact, I have my fields. I always sort my fields by kind of business function here. So I have our own here that that hosts the internal user ID, workspace ID, Stripe customer ID. So if we need to manage it or the support team needs to manage something in here, they have access to all the information. That's all done here, right? And so we'll fill that with the amount of sub accounts they have. If they're using GoHighLevel, using AI, if they have used AI, what have they used? And if they have used something else, why are they looking for something else? Why are they talking with us? All that is in here. Okay. So those are the tools. And then some custom tools I have is calculate distance. This is just for a later version of the lead magnet, just to kind of show off a little bit, right? I have website summary, which they'll use this to scrape their website. That's how the conversation starts off, is by learning about them and then using that in the convo to qualify. I have scrape raw, which is just the same thing, but it just scrapes it raw to get like all the embedded links and everything in case we need to follow those two to search the web. And then I have search the web, which allows it to search the web. If you just want to see how these things work, here they are. Take a screenshot, rebuild that. That's to give your assistant the ability to search the web. There you go, screenshot, rebuild it. This is to get the AI to scrape a website raw. There you go, screenshot this one. This is to get the assistant to get a website summary from a scrape. And then this one is calculate distance, which is just a custom tool that I built to calculate distance between an address, like the business's address, your address, whatever, and the user's address, which is the contact. You can screenshot this, use this one too. Same cadence, remember exactly as you see it. So those are the tools I have on it. I'll add more later. I'll update when I do so. And the last thing here is just some verbiage training. Again, I'm huge on casual language. I'm huge on making AI seem like it's not AI. And the verbiage find and replace is huge for a multitude of different use cases, but verbiage training is the biggest one. So I have just some typical things that, after testing the AI a ton, at least this one specifically, that may have come up, or, kind of just filling in what I would say. Because even though this one isn't mimicked to replicate, it's not meant to replicate me. It's meant to kind of replicate my cadence, right? Just so like the conversations, the end goal is for the user, the contact, to never know who they're talking to, whether it's AI or human, right? So I try to make my AI seem very human like me. So later when I talk to it, it just kind of gives the appearance. It's kind of the whole meme of no one knows if they're talking to me. It's either the AI or me, and you'll never know. So I have just some stuff that I see come up like great. I replace it with very cool. Oh my God, voice crack. So great, very cool, perfect is replaced with easy enough, excellent, sweet. So just stuff that, I would say, right? And I also have some stuff again in here to like make it seem super casual. So like thanks, I'm doing thanks. You, I'm replacing with just a you. Hower to how. And so that's like the idea is just like, how are you doing this today? It's how you doing this today. And it's just a bit more casual, right? Like what AI would say that. Again, just kind of throwing that out there. Mine also said powerhouse one time because of something on their website. So I thought I'd change that to beast because I've never seen an AI say beast before. So again, pretty fun. Kicking off, I'd rather just say starting, business. And, commas are replaced with dashes. I typically do that. So just some verbiage training. You got to remember too. So not only will this find and replace it on the output, right? So anytime an AI says something in like that's here, it'll just replace it with this. But once we do that, we refeed it back to the AI on the next go around. And so it starts to learn to talk like this without these. So it works as a form of verbiage training. So as it goes along its way, you'll notice that it'll find itself talking more and more like this without much input. So we have our knowledge, calendars, tool, verbiage. Everything else is pretty much on the out of the box settings. So we'll get to the task-based prompt here. Okay. So I have just 1 through 6. I'll make this a little larger so you can see. So super easy here, right? This is where the task-based framework is so huge. I mean, it's like, this is not specific to our platform. I promise you, use this in any platform that you're using. If you're watching this and you're not using our platform, change your prompt to this. Watch your AI become more focused. Take my word for it. Try it out. So I have task-based framework here, just 6 things. A couple of them have conditionals, but we'll walk through that and you'll see how it ties into the fields and everything, right? So that the fields are a bit autonomous. Again, this whole thing, all this stuff is for scaling your AI in a meaningful way. So you don't have to do crazy prompts. You don't have to do anything crazy. These are all kind of just autonomous things that happen. The same thing with the knowledge base. You put it in there and it's automatically fed as context. The tools, you put in a good description. You don't have to call it out. Like even on this one, I say just get times and book an appointment. I don't have to say, use the tool this and do this and use the tool this for rescheduling. It just knows. The descriptions are in there. They're very good. They're like mini prompts. They're like side quests for your AI to take. So just take that into consideration when you're building your descriptions for your custom tools. That's how you keep these things autonomous, right? So task-based framework. So number 1, scrape their website. I do call this one out specifically because I do have the 2 in there and I want it to use either one or the other. I think, I have it do both in here. and then pull the information about their website. And then I say, after you've done that, give the user a compliment by pointing out a specific piece of information from their website and then tangibly asking them a question about it with your compliment. Ask the user how they're driving traffic to the site. You see how I'm talking to the AI here? I'm talking to it like we're right here in the room together. Like, this is my employee. I'm not saying, we need to qualify and look at their website and then we need to generate 15 qualifying questions. You wouldn't talk to an employee that way. And if you do, there may be a communication error. And AI is no different, right? So I'm super specific with what I tell the AI I need it to do and what I want it to do. And that's how it does it, right? With no fail. Again, like the ones that I've had in this one, 0 fails. 0 fails on anything in any of the tool calls. No downtime on these. The last one that was very similar to this, but thousands of appointments, generated astronomical numbers of revenue, didn't go down once, did it worldwide too, fully international. So just take note of the way we're talking to AI here. And again, not specific to this platform. AI in general, this is how it understands cadence of conversation. This is how it best understands instruction. So just as I talk to it, maybe use that as a tad bit of inspiration. So after we pull a specific piece of information about their site, ask them about it, and then ask them how they're driving traffic, I say ask the user if they're using AI in their business, right? Super simple. And then on the back half of that, I have some conditionals, right? So kind of 2 things here is someone's either using AI or they're not. So I have, if you're wondering how to kind of set conditionals in these, it's just 3 spaces and a dash. That's how I do it. You can just do a dash, but I also kind of hierarchy these things too. So I do 3 spaces and a dash, and I say, if the user is using AI in their business, ask them what they're using. Qualifying question number 2 also goes to that custom extraction tool, which pulls it, puts it in GoHighLevel. And then I say, ask the user what it is their current tool, or what it is about their current tool that's prompting them to look at other solutions, right? So if they're using AI, we're going to see what they're using just so we can document that, just for tracking and attribution, things like that. But then we want to know why they're looking around. Like, you don't just, at least I would hope you don't just sit around and shop all day. And if you are, you need to be doing some sales. There's better things to do. But someone doesn't just shop, so no one just goes and buys everything. So we're just saying, like, why are you looking around? Is there something that could be improved on? You're looking for a feature, etc. That's where we're looking to go here. And then I have this second conditional that's just saying, like, if they're not using AI, ask them what has stopped them from getting into AI, because that's kind of important. If you're at this point and you haven't at least implemented some form of AI, like there's some limiting belief there that we need to understand, which could also be used in the later sales process. But it's important to know, like, why haven't you? Are you scared of it? Have you haven't used it because all your friends say it doesn't work? All these kind of turn into arrows in the quiver of the sales process, right? And of the success process, because these things can be fed in, and these are things that we can watch for as they start to onboard to the platform. So if they had problems with booking before, we want to make sure on onboarding that we really focus on the booking aspect. Or, if they're scared of it, we want to reinforce the fact that data is super safe and that AI itself is very fine-tuned to be, on target and handle scenarios, things like that. So the next one after that is ask them if they're using GoHighLevel. That's kind of an important piece, right? But we have some conditionals off of this one too. Just that little tree hierarchy there is, if they are using GoHighLevel, we're going to ask them how many sub-accounts they manage. Goes to that custom extraction. And then if they are using GoHighLevel and we know how many sub-accounts they manage, we're going to ask them what plan of high level they're on. It's important because the 97 one can't access the marketplace. But we can use that later. And then the last one is just, if they're not using high level, let's just ask them if they would like to use our account to test. So we'll make them a sub-account. Or if they plan on getting, their own in the future, right? So that we can plan for implementation. Because if a local business comes from the ad, comes from YouTube, comes from whatever, we can at least accommodate them that way, right? And then last is just propose an appointment and confirm the contacts information that you have: name, email, phone number, and website, and collect the information that is unknown: name, email, phone number, and website. So that's just saying collect information you don't have, confirm the information that you do have. A lot of people do this right before booking. This is a great one right here. Hasn't broke yet. And then I say only after collecting and confirming the user's information. And again, notice the cadence. I'm saying user. I'm not saying contact. I'm not saying whatever. I'm saying the user's information. Get available times and book an appointment. That's it. It may seem like a lot. It's 6 things with some conditionals off the back. But, how is it answering so well about the company, pricing, things like that? The knowledge base. How is it answering so casually? How is it, throwing in these outputs I've never seen before? The verbiage find and replace. How is it, mine's outputting something crazy? You probably have, crazy stuff here, right? And you probably don't have something to kind of keep it in check, which you can use this one. This one's bulletproof. It's in all generations. Just copy it over. You're good to go. And again, like that's not an important thing, but these are just things that you can look at for outputs. So if you're just, going crazy, going off the rails or whatever you want to call it, give it a persona of someone who's casual, professional, who, saves the user time by not outputting a lot of things, and then keep your tasks concise. Super, super concise. Like you're talking to a human, like you're talking to a brand new VA. Hey, VA, do this. When you talk to a customer, ask them this. That's the same way you talk to AI. It's no different. And then, how do you get to do the certain things? How do you get to fill the information? That comes down to the description in your custom tools and your extractions and your tags, right? Because what you put in that description is what the AI understands as your instruction. They're like mini prompts. They're like side quests for the AI. If you say, if I have a custom field I'm trying to extract and it's like, I put roofing in there, it's like, the AI is like, what the hell is this? But if you say, fill this value or use this tool to fill the value of the approximate square footage of the user's roof, that's perfect instruction. That's perfect instruction, not only from your perspective of telling someone or something, an AI, how to do something, but the AI understands that. I know to use this tool whenever the user, aka contact, gives me the approximate square footage of their roof, and I know what to do and where to put it. So there you go, a little lesson on that. Then I just have this active tag, this phone number, good to go. Again, this is nothing crazy. So I have like, 1 or 2 here, so you can kind of see the conversation kick off. So oops, forgot to connect the workflow. It's so fun. So we start with this fun little, intro here. And it looks like they went through both. It looks like my failsafe didn't work, so I may add a little bit more time on the Facebook one. Take it out. But it looks like we came in here, gave it the injection. Right? It looks like it got both the injections, which just means I need to up the wait time. No big deal. And looks like it scraped the website. Fine. See how fun this is? I'm telling you, never breaks. I've never had mine break. It's so good. But it looks like it pulled the raw. So raw of the website, I'll blur out the user's info, the summary, and then it came back. And look at this verbiage. Your work at this is impressive. How are you driving traffic to your site? And look at this output. Super short, super easy, right? Super easy. That comes from the find and replace. That comes from the task-based framework. That comes from the persona set out. And again, that's all kind of pre-filled for you in the generation. I always say keep it super simple. Keep your prompt super simple. All that other stuff can be done by the tools. That's the point of V2, is to give you every tool in your tool belt to make AI do exactly what you want it to do. Okay? So they came back, said email. It says, are you using AI to engage visitors or improve operations? So it just kind of asked. So that's the thing about the task-based framework too, is if you say like ask the user, how they're driving traffic, or ask the user if they're using AI. If you do it in that way, because AI is conversational, it's going to conversationally ask those things. It's not going to be hard coded unless you put it in quotes or something like that. But it will kind of just say to the AI, hey, do this thing. You said it very concisely, it understands it, and it will do it in the context of the conversation. You can see that here. And so this person said no. And you remember that little tree we had, if they're using AI, figure out what they're using and then why they're shopping around. But if they're not, ask them why haven't they? You can see that in action here. So what's been holding you back from exploring AI options? Nothing now. I'm exploring. Got it. Are you using GoHighLevel for any of your marketing operations? Again, that first question of asking if they're using HighLevel, they say no. And remember the conditional of if they're not using HighLevel, ask them if they want to test in our account or if they're planning of getting their own. It says, would you like to test in our account or are you planning to get your own? And again, you can see the find and replace. The concise output verbiage is just spectacular. Chef's kiss. Really good, right? They say test yours at some point. I'll get my own. It says, sounds like a plan. Let's book a demo. Just got your email address and phone. Just need to confirm, is this your website? Right? So it kind of comes back to that second to last thing. Confirm what you do have, get what you don't. So it's confirming here. It's I've got your email, I've got your phone. Just want to confirm your website. Yes. Right? And so then it comes here, gets some times, says I have some openings. Monday works. We got a book here. And then a cancel here. This is that context injection from when an appointment is booked. Go ahead and cancel it. So we tell the AI, we inject the context. We say, go ahead and cancel that appointment. Here's why, here's the context. So then as soon as that's injected in, what the AI does is it cancels the appointment. And then it sends out an email to complement ours. So it sends out an email, or at least it tried to. And then we've got no sales call policy. So we injected the context too there, right? In the beginning, we're like, this is why we're canceling the appointment. And so it comes back and says like, hey, this is why you got that. I'm going to send you an email too. Any questions, just hit reply. Enjoy exploring. They said, thanks, looking forward to it. And then guess what? We removed our active tag for no reply. So we didn't get a reply here. Perfectly executed conversation, right? There was maybe a hiccup here, you could call it. But even then, the AI was flawless in the execution of taking that over, even with the context, right? Like it didn't come in here and say, what's your website? Even though that was injected, it understood from these things that we already had the website because they submitted it twice. Just ran with it. So this is some best practices. Again, I kind of told you my plan for the workflows, and I have some plans on some tools I'm going to add in there just for the sake of like a really robust demo. Make them remember something, stick out, right? That's why we do the weird, oops, I forgot to connect to the workflow. Is we want them to remember this interaction. We want them to say, wow, that was different from everything else I've ever tried. I've tried all these self-selling demos, and it's always the same thing, selling my roofing business back to me. But this was different. Different is good. Different is memorable. So hope that's helpful. Hope that's helpful in the cadence of some of these things. Remember identity, style guardrails, response guideline task, your cash money good to go. Put all your other stuff in the knowledge base. Take advantage of tools. Take advantage of the verbiage. And you should be cash money ready to go. I'll update this when it comes out. The ads, I think, just approved and started running this morning. I think we have 6 Facebook leads come in. The conversations have been good thus far. And so we're just going to triple, quadruple the budget, and we're just going to run volume. And we're going to try to make it cooler every time. So I hope that's helpful. 40-minute video, but this is walk through A to Z on our entire client acquisition system as of this moment. I'll update one with the support and success as well so that you can see how we do that, so that you can replicate it for your clients, so that you can use AI for support. So you can manage your clients and you can focus on the more tangible things, which is bringing in revenue. Build AI less, build GoHighLevel less, do less support, do the more tangible things, right? Running ads, doing sales, yada, yada, yada. Hope that's helpful.